You talk about masculinity a lot. That comes up a lot. Does not come up on this podcast for reasons that still escape me. No, but seriously, John, like you talk about it, and I think you have you have a great it's a great vantage point you have, because you can talk about it from this place of having experienced, or having experience with toxic masculinity, or people thinking that about you because of, whatever difficulties you've had in the past, or the fighting or whatever. They can just think like, oh, this is the point of view this guy's going to be coming at me from. And then for you to talk about how that can be a toxic formula and is not the answer, gives you an authority in that. I think that other people, it gives you a power to talk about that subject that maybe other people don't have.
Look, I don't know if I have any power in it, and I don't honestly, with the sort of terms that people throw out there. I don't know. I'm no authority on that. I know that I'm a father, and I'm a father of two boys, and I know the kind of men that I want them to grow up to be, and the kind of young men I want them to be, and I know the kind of models of masculinity that I want them to see. And I think, sometimes I've talked about this before. And I think sometimes it gets confusing, and I think that I don't know that I've ever been. I do believe in discipline. Mm-hmm. I'm somebody. My kids, they practice martial arts. They know, they know how to handle themselves in the woods. I really think it's enormously important, not for them, but also just as equally important for my daughter to be able to defend themselves and to be able to handle themselves, and to, like, these things are these sort of cornerstones of, I think, classic masculinity are super, super important, but equally important is being kind, is being empathetic, is to stand up for somebody who has less rights than you, somebody who's being picked on, somebody who's being put into the corner, somebody who's just sad. Getting in touch with a side of them that's softer, having the courage to do that. I had a guy on my show that I've just learned so much from, a dear friend of mine named Kevin Vance, who's a Navy SEAL and a firefighter, and just one of the just this wonderful human being, and he talks about the code of the samurai and how they knew how to fight, and they knew how to use swords, and they were warriors, but they also had to get in touch with their quote unquote feminine side, and their ability to do calligraphy and to dance and to cook and to garden, and that these things are all equally important, and to be well-rounded. But again, when it's confused with being hardened, or being picking on somebody, or again saying it's my way or the highway, to me that reeks of such fear and such insecurity.
Yep.
And it's a classic rule in the boxing gym. I've said it before. When you come into Steve Petromali's gym, you're gonna see.
Oh, I'm coming in.
I know you are,
and I'm coming in hard.
I know, man. Well, look, my point is that in any boxing gym in this country, you can see it. The guy who's the loudest, the guy with the brightest color clothes, the guy who's kind of, dancing around.
That's me. That's all three.
Well, look, I think that will change, because I think that is almost always the guy you don't need to worry about. Yeah. But it is the guy who smiles at you and shakes your hand and nods and says, "Hey, man, you want to move a little bit?" Like, you got to deal with this guy.
I'm coming in wearing bright shamrock shorts.
Let's go.
Yep. And an actual peacock tail.
Let's go. A peacock tail and a monocle.
I love it, man.
Listen, I want to make sure I help get the word out, because your podcast is doing well. Real Ones is available wherever people get their podcasts, right?
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah, Spotify.
And John Bernthal, Real Ones, and it's very refreshing.
Thanks,
because you're talking to real people about real things, and you do have the touch. You are able to connect with these people. I think that's very cool. And if you ever need help out there in the world, if you get into a tight corner and you need a guy to come in and swing these meat hooks around,
not him.
Don't call me.
Yeah.
Don't call me, because I'm a terrible. I do not have your back.
I don't. Come on, man. That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I wanted to end honestly.
I love it.
I'm a kicker. I'm a guy who kicks and then runs.
That's great.
Yeah.
A little scratch, maybe.
A slap. I can't make a fist, but I slap and then I run. I'm a slap and run guy.